The people under the stairs. The earliest memory that James can recall was that of the day his older brother went missing. To the best of his recollection, he and Drew had been playing hide and seek to entertain themselves as they always did. James would often get bored of looking for Drew if it took too long to find him, or if he was too scared to look in darker places such as the attic or the basement. Drew would always jump out of his hiding place to scare James rather than be discovered. But that day was different. James remembered counting. He remembered shouting, "Ready or not, here I come," and running through the house. He checked the closets, under the beds, behind the curtains. He even looked in the old pantry, Drew's favorite spot. But the house stayed still and silent and strange. It was only when the light started to fade that he worked up the courage to go downstairs. The basement door was half open, its hinges squealing when he touched it. He called Drew's name, but his voice just died in the dark. Halfway down, the air changed. It was colder, thicker. James could smell earth, and something faintly sweet, like rot. There was movement too, quick and dry, somewhere behind the stacks of old boxes. He whispered, "Drew?" Something whispered back. It wasn't Drew's voice. James bolted upstairs and slammed the door. When his parents got home, he was crying so hard they could barely understand him. They searched the house top to bottom, then the woods, then the police got involved. But Drew was gone. No footprints, no forced entry, just gone. They never sold the house, but nobody went to the basement anymore. Years later, James returned. He was 27 now, the last of his family. His parents had died in a car accident 2 years prior, and the house had been sitting empty ever since. He told himself he'd come to clean it out, but deep down, he knew why he was really there. He wanted to open that door again. The first night was quiet, almost peaceful. Dust coated everything, and the air smelled stale. He made camp in the living room with a flashlight and sleeping bag, but he couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard a faint scuffling sound coming from under the floorboards. By morning, he had convinced himself it was just mice. But that night, it came again, closer this time. He could feel it through the floor, tiny tremors traveling up through his sleeping bag. Then a whisper, "Jamie." He sat up, his heart hammering. The voice came from the vent by the wall. Slowly he crawled toward it. "Drew?" he breathed. There was a pause, then a wet, dragging sound. "Come, play." James froze. His flashlight flickered, and for a split second, he thought he saw something in the dark slit of the vent. Pale fingers, too thin, reaching outward. The vent rattled violently, then stopped. James backed away, but something inside him snapped. He had to know. He tore the vent cover off and shined his light down into the crawl space. It wasn't empty. Rows of faces stared back at him, pressed against the dirt, mouths open as if gasping for air. Their eyes were clouded, skin gray and slack. But one face, one he knew, smiled faintly. "Found me," it whispered. The floor gave way. When the police found the house days later, the basement door was open again. The steps were slick with mud, and small handprints trailed up the walls. No one ever found James. But sometimes, at night, neighbors swear they can hear children laughing beneath the floorboards, playing hide and seek.